don't judge all coalitions by 3 metros. We're involved in over 38 coalitions across the country, in Limpopo, in KwaZulu-Natal and the Western Cape. By far the majority of coalitions in this country work and work well and deliver good governance in places like George, in places like Swellendam, in places like Agulhas municipality. So don't write all coalitions off with what you're seeing happening in the metros. What has happened in the metros it's unique is the over-fragmentation of the vote there, where voters have voted for a plethora of parties that are now sitting at the table. Some of those parties have 0.65% of the vote and are often the determinating factor whether a coalition succeeds or not. So that's one of the reasons why we're proposing legislation in Parliament to look at how we can have electoral thresholds so we can bring some stability. Generally, if you look around the world, you'll see coalitions that work and are stable are generally through fewer parties, 3, 4, maximum 5 parties. It's very difficult to run a big city, for instance, when you've got 10 hands on the steering wheel. And that's why in Johannesburg, for instance, it took 13 months before they were able to appoint a city manager, because you got everyone pulling in a different direction, and it does lead to instability sometimes. But we have to do something different to what we have in terms of the ANC paradigm, and that's why I'm committed to making coalitions work. Of course, I want my own majority, and if you look at where the DA's got its own majority, governance is top class. Cape Town, Umgeni municipality in KwaZulu-Natal and the Chris Papas, the municipalities in the West Cape, where we've got a majority, it works well. Midrand in Gauteng. But if we have to have a coalition, I think we've got to have more maturity. I think we've got to make sure that we are focusing on reducing the petty squabbling and focusing on servicing the residents and making sure that we demonstrate the alternative going forward. And if I get elected on Sunday, I'm going to be speaking a little bit more about that.